Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Welcome into another edition of Inside Automotive right here at the CBT Automotive Network.
CBT News, your number one resource for auto industry news and content. You're watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.
Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Thanks so much for joining me on another edition of Inside Automotive right here at the CBT Automotive Network. The Greater New York Automobile Dealers Association is kicking off the year with big plans. Today we're catching up with Mark Schienberg, president of the GNYADA, to get an update on what's ahead for the association. And of course, we want to talk about what we can expect from this year's auto show, which is always a stunner. If you have not made plans to get to New York for this show, man, you got to make plans right now because it is really going to be something, as it always is. First-class operation, and it is like the premier auto show in the country. And I know I'm going to get some hate mail from some of the other show producers out there, but you guys in New York, Mark, really do a great job. So welcome into the show. Really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Jim. It's great to be back.
Yeah, and I mean, that's really where the press descends and all the OEM executives, and it's just unbelievable. So before we jump into that, what are some of the things that you're working on with your members and for your members in 2025? What's on your to-do list?
Well, 2024 was an extremely busy year in our legislature. We were working on a whole bunch of different issues that really helped the dealers out, like credit card surcharging and warranty parts reimbursement and a few other issues. Mm-hmm. 2025 feels like it's going to be a continuation of a lot of those important issues. Our regional Department of Motor Vehicles is going through a major change in its software program and deliverance of services. So we're sort of gearing up to what ways that can make impact on dealers to make it a lot easier for them in their work that they're doing. And along with the idea that, again, we're kind of taking a look at things like administrative costs that dealers have to absorb, like dock fees or safety inspection fees and right. A lot of other things. So a lot of studies, a lot of work to be done on it. So, and we do expect that, again, in the legislature, things like direct sales is going to continue to be a hot issue that's on there. And yeah. We're going to be in the middle of that, too.
Yeah. Well, that was my next question was, so many people in the industry are very concerned about Scout Motors and obviously it's more specifically Volkswagen, Audi, and Porsche dealers. But everybody is watching this, right? I mean, a hit against one is a hit against all of us in the industry. If in the event a legacy company like Volkswagen can start to, sell direct their product, Scout, which is really a legacy brand in and of itself. It's been around a long time. But if they can sell those vehicles directly to consumers and then compete, against their very franchisees out there, that's not a good thing. Talk to us about that.
Well, I think everybody continues to try to find a new way of doing things, and with technology, definitely things have opened up to be able to communicate to consumers more, to be able to offer them information, timely information when they want it on it. But I think the basics of the sales process, and again, there's been studies that people don't like to go from dealership to dealership. They want to be able to understand what they're looking for and be very targeted in the amount of time that they do.
Right.
But it is that franchise new car dealer that has always been the group that has been able to give the consumer exactly all the information in the way that they're looking for it, and to be able to, when they need something, the consumer needs something, that brick and mortar is there down the block that they can get something done. So while everybody's looking at this, trying to find this new mousetrap that's on there, franchise car dealers still are the number one place that consumers go to and will always be that situation. So, right. Again, I know everybody wants to be able to put out that big headline. We've got a new way of buying a vehicle on it. But that, is a great soundbite on it. But when it comes down to practice, It's about coming and working with your local new car dealer.
That's right. And it should also be said that a number of dealer groups out there have made huge strides in the area of speeding up the sales process, making it more customer friendly, making it more transparent, and customers are liking that. They like what they see at the dealer level, right? Not all of them. I know I'm painting with a broad brush. Some are still doing business the way they did it, when their parents owned the dealership, so to speak. But for the great number of dealers that are out there that have made that pivot to say we got to sell cars, and the process has to be easier for the consumers to get our products and to make that trade in. And so many dealer groups have done just that, right? I mean, I see some that are like, hey, buy a car in less than an hour, or it's free, or you get a big discount, or whatever the case might be. But they've stepped up to the plate, haven't they?
Yeah, they have in a tremendous way. Listen, they've got a big investment in these businesses.
Right.
And there's a lot of pressure, that's on there to make those transactions. But if you want customer loyalty, and this goes back to since I started on it, you want that return business on it. You want to make that customer happy. And dealers have always continued to find a way to make sure that that customer is being taken care of, making the sales process as streamlined as possible, as clear as possible, and also then taking care of the customer when there's a need for something to be done, whether it's warranty or recall work that's there, to have loaner cars available. An internet can't have loaner cars available. It's got to be a friend. So all that combination of things that come together in that customer experience is what dealers have to offer. And they have done a much, much better job in being able to get customers in, get customers out, and deliver their vehicles.
That's right. That's right. I should add too that this is the area where state associations and metro associations like yours are so vitally important to the franchise dealer and those investments that they make, because they don't want to take this on themselves. No dealer is going to pocket a huge multi-million-dollar lawsuit or speak for the entire body of dealers out there for a multitude of reasons. Could be political, could be money-wise, whatever. But this is one of those areas that, man, you guys are earning your keep every single day, fighting the good fight for dealers, because they just can't do it, And for dealers that are listening to us have this conversation, it's just so important that they help you in any way that they can. Whether they're in another state, they got to do it with their state association, but certainly in New York, right? I mean, am I correct in that?
No, you're totally right. I remember when I first started getting involved in the association, my father said to me, what is the purpose? You always got to think about the purpose of an organization like an association. What do you do? And as a collective, as a group, you have much, much more influence over things than if you're having an individual business person trying to do it themselves. And that was true back then, and it's even more true these days on it. So, as we're trying to address where things are going with electric vehicles, and for New York, we're part of the CARB state that's on it. So things are going into effect, even on the heavy duty truck. It already went into effect on January 21st, 2025. Collectively, we can bring the groups together with data and information, and talk to the people that are most important to talk to on the state level, to let them know what's doing it. It doesn't always work, even with that, but we have a really pretty good success record on our hand.
Are you hearing some concerns or rumblings, I should say, from your members about the president's threat for these tariffs? That I've spoken to a number of your colleagues, and they've said that this is a concern of their dealers. I've spoken to OEM executives that say it's a concern for them as well. And while President Trump is very pro-business, and there's a lot of, he's got some great political capital right now, that is one of those areas that we don't know where this is going.
Well, it's such an important industry to the American economy, is the auto sector that's on there, not only the amount of factory jobs that are out there, but also on the retail level, on the purchasing of goods that are on there. A 25% tariff, it does send shivers up everybody's back on it, because it just about impacts every brand that's out there.
Yeah,
as we
really does.
know that we're a global industry that shares lots of things with other countries that are there. I was just up at the Toronto Motor Show just the other week, last week, on it, and our friends up there are obviously gearing up and saying, "Hey, we import a lot of product to American car companies on that that'll be impacted." So the dealers are keeping a close eye. There's clearly things that manufacturers can do in shifting their factory operations to some extent on there. But the question will be is how much of a hit this is actually going to take. And after you just came out of COVID and then the computer chip shortage and shipping shortage on it, dealers are feeling like they've been punched around a lot over the last number of years.
Yeah, the hits just keep on coming.
That's right. That's right.
Well, let's switch gears and talk about some really positive and exciting news, which is your auto show. And as I said in the opening, it is always a stellar event, first class all the way. So it gets so many eyeballs and the right attention from OEMs and the media and everything else. So what can we expect to see this year?
Well, it's a big news year for us because we're going to be celebrating our 125th anniversary.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh my gosh. 125 years. That's got to be, is that the longest running show in the country, or?
It is. It's the original auto show in North America that started in November 1900, the old Madison Square Garden.
Oh my gosh.
And it actually, a lot of the first vehicles that took place at that 1900 auto show were electric vehicles, battery vehicles, steam engine vehicles.
What's old is what's new. Right, right.
So we're going to bring out some of the oldies but goodies, but it'll be a very fun time because it's an amazing industry that's gone through so many innovations.
Yeah.
Design, materials, technology, all those things that just make this one of the most exciting industries in the world. And be able to be, celebrating 125 years with some great historic cars and some great discussions on the vehicle is a lot of fun.
Yeah, so, there's no question about it. Are you happy with the participation from the number of OEMs that are bringing vehicles in?
It's coming back. I mean, there's a couple of things that have really changed since COVID, and one of the factors, and this is again going back to that comment about technology, manufacturers and dealers were always able to continue to market their products even when everything was shut down because of technology that's out there. So we see more manufacturers doing off-site introductions. While they used to use auto shows most exclusively over a period of time. So we have quite a few press conferences and product introductions on it. We'll be having our business-to-business conferences, Automotive Forum that NADA, JD Power puts on. Media Post is doing their marketing program, World Traffic. So we're continuing to each year seeing more manufacturers really coming back and starting to use the auto show again. So it's exciting to see that, and the public has never lost its loyalty to come into the shows. Our numbers continue to grow since COVID on it.
Wow.
They are excited about seeing products. They are in the market for buying cars in the next 12 months. So, the data really shows that, auto shows still have this amazing marketing capability.
Definitely. Yeah, there's no question. One-stop shopping for an interested consumer. It's just amazing. Without that, I don't want to say pressure per se, but without that, that friendly salesmanship that happens inside of a showroom. And sometimes customers are like, I just don't necessarily want to be, on the spot to buy a car right now. But you don't have that at auto shows. You have product specialists that go through the vehicles in their entirety and answer all of the necessary questions that consumers have. And they have a lot right now because of EVs and hybrids and how they work and all of those wonderful questions that need answers, quite honestly, to consumers. And we see an increase last year in the percentage of people buying EVs, which is very promising, right?
Yeah, it's we brought back our electric ride and drive several years ago, and each year we've expanded it and more people come to it. So this year we have 4 different ride and drives that are happening around the show, some of them exclusively for electric vehicles. We had about 140,000 people that participated in a ride and drive on it.
Wow.
And the impact that has on the consumer's opinion, and like you mentioned product specialists, such a valuable tool for a
No
consumer when
question.
they come in.
That's right. That's right. I've got to believe there's a spike in new car sales within your region right there once this hits, right? Because that's kind of the natural evolution. Somebody falls in love with the auto show, they go back to their local dealer and say, okay, work me a deal, here's my trade-in. You've got to see that happen, right?
Yeah, and that's why the dealers really love the auto show, because they do see an increase in floor traffic on it. And when the consumer does come in, they have a really good idea of what they're looking for, because they've done their research online, which is really, vital, and the manufacturers do a great job with their websites.
Yeah.
They come to the show, they talk to product specialists, they sit in these vehicles, and it's all under one roof. And then when they go into the showroom, they pretty much know what they want.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. No question about it. Well, Mark Schienberg, president of the Greater New York Automobile Dealers Association, thank you so much for joining us on the show. It is always great catching up with you, and I know that we will be out there as well. We're the official news source, or I should say the official media source for the JD Power Forum, so we'll probably see you there as well. Love to catch a few minutes with you on air if we can. But it's always great catching up. And for dealers that are out there listening to us have this conversation, this is something that you should definitely try to get to for so many reasons. You're going to see a lot of OEM executives there. Maybe you're going to find out that you can get that new point that you've been after by meeting the OEM executives out at the auto show. But you guys do a first-class show. Congratulations on this, and I can't wait to see it. So until then, stay well.
You too.
Thanks.
You too. Thanks.
Thanks for watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.